We know we just entered Guatemala, but people have asked us about our route and how much we have spent in Mexico. So this video will be a little different, so we will show you. Okay, this is my beautiful map of Mexico, and this is the Yucatan Peninsula. And we flew in from Denmark, no, actually from Toronto to Cancun. But we didn't have any stays in Cancun. Instead, we rented a car and drove to this little town called Acomal. In Acomal, we had a lovely stay in the jungle. From Acomal, we drove to this little beach town called Tulum, where we also enjoy the beach and cenotes and stuff there. From Tulum, we drove to Valladolid. Valladolid is the town where you can explore the Iquil cenote and the Chichen Itza. So we had a few nights in Valladolid before we headed to Merida. In Merida, we were very excited to see the flamingos. It was their mating season, so we drove out here to a little beach town called Celestun, where we saw some pretty amazing flamingos. In Merida, we dropped off our rental car. Then we have had the rental car in 10 days. And we flew from Merida all the way. It's a nice little airplane to, we flew all the way to Mexico City. Unfortunately, the city was in red zone. We wasn't aware of that, so we were locked down for 4 days in our little room without windows. So 4 days in Mexico City, yay! From Mexico City, we took an autobus to Puebla, and unfortunately this town was closed as well. Red zone again. So 3-4 nights in Puebla in lockdown. So we were excited to get on board the bus again, and we drove from Puebla to Oaxaca, and this town wasn't closed. Yippee! So we explored the town. It was nice to get to come out and explore the city and get a decent meal and a restaurant and all that stuff. From Oaxaca, we drove with a night bus 12 hours to San Cristobal de la Casa. It's up in the mountains. It was a bit colder, but it was open, so we had a nice time exploring the city. From San Cristobal, we took another bus to this town called Comitan. And from Comitan we explored the El Cifrón waterfalls and had a nice time the last days in Mexico before we entered the border into Guatemala by the La Messiah border. So now you have seen our route, and I hope you like my creative drawings. Then we want to tell you a little numbers.
Yeah, before we dive into the numbers, whenever we travel, we note down every expense that we have in this small blue book, call it Blue. And we note down everything from hotels to transportation to tours, down to every little toilet visit. So, very valuable.
Yeah. So the first one is accommodation.
So we spent a total of actually 32 nights in Mexico, so just above a little more than a month. We had
the last 4 nights we had was in Cancun before we went back home, so that's why it isn't on the route.
We stayed at 10 different hotels and we spent a total of 21,578 pesos across those hotels.
Our second biggest post is transportation, and that is buses, taxis, our flight from Merida to Mexico City,
rental car,
and a rental car. Yeah.
Gasoline.
And in total, we spent 22,167 pesos.
Third largest post is food and drinks. We spent a total of 17,284 pesos on everything from restaurants to street food to food at hotels, supermarkets, snacks, kiosk visits, etc.
Our fourth post on our list is taxes and fees.
Sorry.
And we can't avoid them, please. So in total we spent 1,738 pesos.
Taxes include tourist tax when you leave Mexico and when you come into Mexico through a land border. So post number 5 is tours and excursions. We spent a total of 6,704 pesos, and that is entrance fees to cenotes, it's tours to waterfalls, so every
ruins,
organized and archaeological sites.
Yeah. And then we have medical expenses. In these times of COVID, we just need to have a test. It could be PCR test or antigen test or anything, but in total we spent 8,070 pesos in total for these medical expenses.
Our last and final post is the various post. It's everything from a small toilet visit to a haircutter in Comitan, and in total we spent around 1,000 pesos on this various post. So all in all, across 32 nights in Mexico, we spent a total of 78,500 pesos, give or take a few pesos. Our biggest post on the budget is definitely transportation and accommodation. There are definitely a couple of areas where we could have saved money. Our rental car was a big post in the beginning of our journey. A bit of a luxury to have the freedom to drive around wherever you want. We could have taken buses or colectivos, which would have saved quite a bit on that post.
But we had to see the COVID situation in Mexico at that time, and that's why we rented a car.
In terms of accommodations, you can definitely save some more money than what we spent. We often go for a nicer but affordable hotel. We're dependent on a good Wi-Fi connection, and well, we're not that much into hostels. We're not 18 anymore.
Or 20.
Or 20. But there was definitely some of the hotels where we could maybe have found something cheaper. On the food and beverages post, in general, Mexico is a cheap country to eat and dine and wine in. We had some very nice meals at various restaurants. You could have stuck just to street food, which is also nice and very affordable and cheap. So again, you can save some money on that post if you want to. All in all, we've had 32 amazing days in Mexico. Really love the country. There's so much to experience and so much to see. I think one of our favorite experiences was exploring the cenotes on the Yucatan.
We can put them up here.
Yeah, we'll leave a link to the Accommodations and Grand Cenotes. So if you haven't seen that episode, be sure to check it out.
It's a wonderful place.
That's it for today,
folks.
This was a little bit of a special video. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your comments and your likes.
If you have any question to this video, please comment below.
We reply to each and every comment.
We try.
Bye.
Bye.